Hello, hello. All right, I'm ready to do some sort of a quick project with you today just to get those creative juices going for the week, to motivate you to spend a little time in your creative supplies. And the key word today is supplies. I was kind of looking through my things trying to decide what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I rarely use, well, I don't want to say rarely, but I don't use ephemera very often. I typically go more for the paints and the different products like that. But I have a good little stash, and I thought, why not start using it? And so I'm going to gather a few of those supplies with you today, and let's just see what fun little simple project we come up with. All right? Go ahead, and if you're joining me and you don't know who I am, I'm Kathy Freeman with Kathy Freeman Art, and I am a mixed media artist. I love doing art using a lot of different products and different things in it. So sometimes that word mixed media becomes a little overwhelming, or it might even have a negative connotation to some people. They're thinking, I mean, I heard an artist one time say, "Oh, when you think of mixed media, you think of grungy." And I thought, I never think of grungy because I don't like to do things that are, well, I don't ever really do anything that are grungy, you might say. And so mixed media is simply this. So if you're brand new to it, which I know here in this group, there are several of you that are brand new to mixed media, it's simply just being able to use a variety of different things, different products, different materials in your artwork. So, for example, and I can pretty well bet that you've probably done mixed media and not really realized it. If you have maybe painted something and then taken a marker or some sort of another tool other than paint to write maybe a quote, or you've added some other paper or something to it, that's mixed media. As long as you're using two or more different types of materials, you are creating mixed media. So that's how simple it is. It's not scary. It's not overwhelming. Now there are a few little things and tips to help you along the way, and I hope to share those in different videos as we're doing, our little projects together. These projects are just are simply just to inspire you. My goal is not to sit down and do a full project with you. If you're interested in doing a full project, take a look at my website, kathyfreemanart.com. Go over there and look at my membership, because I have in there, and I'll be opening it soon. I have a membership, and I do full projects with those gals in there. We do several a month, and it's a lot of fun, and I really really enjoy doing that. If it's closed at the time that this video you happen to see it, then just get your name on the waiting list, because you'll be one of the first to know when it does open back up. All right, so let's get going. And also, I want to tell you that a lot of times when I'm working, I don't really pay attention. It's not that you're not important, but I don't pay attention to the comments. And so I typically ask somebody to help me with that, or I go back in and look later at those comments and I'll comment on them. But please post your comments or your questions or whatever. I appreciate you being here. I am excited that you're here, and I let's get going, and I want to share this with you today. All right, I'm going to go ahead now and go down to my other camera so that you can have a good bird's eye view of what's going on. Let me shift over to that camera. All right, I am now using my other camera so you can actually see down on my creative space. And when I get going, I find things. Are you a keeper? I don't know. Are you really organized? Ugh. I applaud you if you can stay super organized when you are doing your art. I tend to get going and grab things, and then I tend to not put them back, which makes it a little messy. For example, I was opening up some mail, my mail that comes through, and this brown paper envelope, which is really kind of unusual to get a brown paper envelope in your bills and your mail and different things like that. And I thought, oh, I really like that. I'm keeping it. So there it sits on my desk, because I just did that the other day, opening up my mail. All right, here we go. Now, I have a couple little packages like this. I've got a folder that holds different types of ephemera. Like I said, I've had it for a while. Oh, look how cute that is. Oh my gosh. And that's why I gather it, is because I look at it and I go, that is so cute. Sometimes I will use it as inspiration, though, to me for different things. Let's see what this one is that's caught my eye. Oh, look how cute that is. See, it's just adorable. Is that going to get, it's a little fuzzy. See if I can get it a better focus. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's two little girls doing dishes together. Super cute, super cute. I had, this is part of a card, and I just cut off because I love the design that's on it. It's very vintage, old-fashioned. So I thought, I'm going to use that today, and we'll see what we come up with it. And going through here, this grabs my eye immediately. Don't know if I'll use it, but it's in the same color family. It's got a little bit, does it have sparkle? Nope, this doesn't have sparkle on it. This one has sparkle, though. I might use that. I don't know if I will or not. Not going to use those gals. See if there's anything else. Oh, anyway, you can tell I love vintage things. So they grab my eye. Sweet, that's cute. Lots and lots of different little things on here. A snowflake, a heart. Let's see what that is. That's a little big for my project here, but isn't that neat? Okay, so those are cute. I did come across, look at that bicycle. That's cute. Okay. So, and the other reason I don't like to use ephemera in my projects is when I'm teaching a class, those students don't have access to that ephemera necessarily. And so it's very difficult. I don't want to do something that they don't have access to it, because that's happened to me before. I've worked on a project and I've maybe watched somebody and they've got something super cool and I'm like, I don't have that. So it makes it really hard. So I'm going to close that up. I did actually have this, and I was working on this earlier. These cute little gals, and I thought, oh, I like that. So sometimes what I'll do when I'm working on a project and I don't necessarily know if I want to use them or not, is I will make myself, this is just a clear acrylic. You can use anything that you can see through. I tape them down, and then this, believe it or not, is a roll that I had of adding machine paper. And so I thought, oh, I had that, and I thought I placed it over, put it on my light source. See, this gives it a nice solid foundation, and then just traced over it so that I can reuse this, and I've got this for this project. So that's just a little hint tip if you want, or etc. Put that to the side. Now, I do know that I wanted to do something that had wildflowers in it, and I have this stamp that I really love, and you could actually just draw these. These are very simple. It's a simple little pattern circle with little things coming out of it, and I'll either stamp that on or I'll draw those out. All right, let's just get going. So I'm going to put this aside because I don't need that. I know that I usually use my gesso. I need some of my matte medium. Let me grab that bottle because I'll use that to glue these things on. I'm going to use my matte gel. Boy, that lid was on tight. I'm about out of that, so I need to get some more of that. I might use this transparent gesso. So that's nice when you've got a project that you don't, you want to put the gesso on so that you can continue to add layers to it. But you don't necessarily want that milky kind of cloudy look. Oh, I have a scrap. That yellow caught my eye. I don't know if I'll use that. That was from another project I was doing. So anyway, put that aside. Lots of little things around here, and let's just see what we come up with for this quick inspiration. Definitely know I'm using this. Definitely know I'm using this. And I just did a project with my group that says, what if you fly? I might use that because I have that little piece sitting right there. So that will be fun. All right, let's start here. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I want to glue that on, and I want it kind of coming off of the page just for interest. Looking at that, I might use that. All right. Well, that's pretty easy and simple to do. I've got my glue handy here. What I'm going to use right now is some fabric glue that I have. But you can use any glue that you have access to, so it doesn't really matter. And remember, this project too, you see how thick that is? Ooh, that is really thick. You don't need it quite that thick of a glue, but we'll use it. Glue that on. I'm going to turn it over and wipe off the excess. It's on my table. It's kind of funny. I've never really paid attention to how thick that is from my regular craft glue that I use. It's kind of a, I don't know why, a surprise, but it was. Okay, let's move it down a little bit. Okay. And it does not move very well. Once it's on there, it's glued, gals. So like where you put it, okay? Actually, I'm going to grab my craft glue. Just had it on another table over here. And I'm going to pull that off because I don't want it sticking up that high into the sky. So what just happened is the permission to make mistakes and to try something different. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you do have to have that feeling of that feels right, that contentment. That's basically what I go for is, does that feel right? Does that look right? There. Now it doesn't feel like it's just standing out there in mid-air. It belongs in the composition a little bit better. Perfect. Now the next thing I think I'll do is let's glue down these sweet little gals. Get them on there and arrange where they're going to be. And when I trace these, I use a micron pen. Micron. A very thin one, a number 2. And I use that because it's a permanent ink. And it won't bleed. So if I go over the top of it with, I don't know, whatever I decide to use, I won't have to worry about it bleeding or moving on me. That's the one thing you need to be aware of, though, when you are doing mixed media, is some of the products do move. They're water soluble, so when you hit them with another product, look how cute those girls are. Just love that. Alrighty, let's get them on there. I'm using my matte gel. Matte gel is a wonderful, it acts as a glue. Any kind of, matte medium is probably all you really need with this. Matte medium is a lot thinner than this matte gel. I just happen to have it right here because I was using some heavier paper. And so it works super great with heavier paper. Let's put those little gals right there. Oh, let's move them over. A little more. There we go. Right over the top. Water. Now I'm looking for my permanent ink. Archival, acid-free, dye inks. So this should be permanent. Let us hope so. If you're not sure, what you can do is stamp a little bit on something. For example, I'm going to put this down. if I stamp on it, see that right there? And I can come back with some water. Make sure it's kind of dry. Hopefully, oh, that moves. Now let's just see, maybe let's try it, dry it for sure. All right, so let's try it. Let's see if it moves. Nope, it just hadn't dried. So that's the key. Make sure you dry it first. And I am going to go ahead and stamp a few little flowers on here rather than draw those out. So decide which flowers do I want? I think I'll go with these end ones right here. Gee, I have the dropsies today. Get myself a nice, go over that. And then we'll stick that on. Press that down. And there's our little flowers. Cute, cute. And I might have a little bit left. What I'm going to do is let's do the bottoms here and come down by their feet. So they're just, oh, let's do a little more. So they're not just floating in air. And like I said, you could draw this. I'm just going to use my inks. And I didn't clean it, so I got some ink up on top of them. And if I grab my baby wipe, I can lift some of that. I am being raw and real with you today. So many different things happening. All right. So I hope you're getting the message that we're not going for perfection, we're just creating. I'm going to grab my gesso and a flat tip brush. It's a little bit fuller of a brush than I want. Let me go for maybe an angle brush I have right here. That'll be great. I'm going to grab some of this gesso, and this is nice and thick. Go up around here. I'm going to blend that in. Right across like that. And I feel like it needs a little color to it. Something, I've got it pretty muted here. Let's just grab something in your, if you've got these are the Neo 2s. You can mix them in really well. Maybe a little sunshine would be good. We do have some fuchsia if I want to get a little crazy and get some bright colors, which I love bright colors. And here's some, this green. Let's go with the browns. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put these Neo 2s like so. I am going to grab the green and add it. I can't decide which one, so let's grab them both. And add a little color here and there randomly. Around. Now you can use water to activate this, or you could use the gesso. Either works really well. Let's just use a little water on this and activate the color. So like they're walking through, gives a little green color down there. Their dresses. Let's see. Let's do these little pale blue. I'm going to just put this on like a crayon. You just move it on like a crayon. And you can actually, use your finger. Her dress. Let's do it with the purple. A little blue on that. Okay, let's activate. I didn't paint it all. Let's start with hers. I love how the Neo 2s, you can move that around. Do a little darker on the outside here, these edges. Give her just a soft little color. And this sweet gal over here, let's activate this blue. Let's do a little darker up towards the top. Down here at the bottom. There. Those are so easy to use, and it gives such a soft effect. Okay. Right now, let's grab. Nice to, got this acrylic. It's a Deco Art Tita Matcha. Almost had to put my glasses on that one. My bifocals. Okay, let's take a little bit of that. Oops. And get out that brush. Need another small brush. Here we go. Nice little round tip, tiny brush. And I'm going to take some paint on this. I'm going to take my paper towel. Looks like I'm going to wipe a lot of that out, but I want to start faint. There is still paint in the brush, but you don't get a big glob when you go down on it. So what I'm doing is I'm accentuating these flowers over here. So I'm going to add a little more. I'm going to remove some of that top surface that's in my bristles. You still have quite a bit of color right there that's coming through. And I don't like that right there. So if I don't like something, what I do is I grab my gesso. I'm going to wet my finger a little bit because I'm going to use my finger. This is really thick. Okay, I don't need it quite so wet. And I'm going to gesso that. Just change the way that looks. I love using gesso to be able to do that. You can blend things really well. You can pull things together. Like this going around. If I was to do this over before I stamped, I would have put this gesso down probably, because you can cover up the fact, or you know, at least blend them together a little bit better. I don't really know what I'm doing here. We're just going for it. It's one nice thing about this particular exercise, or you're just playing, you know, if it doesn't work out, either use it for another project or toss it out. Doesn't really matter. Because you haven't spent a lot on the supplies, so nothing is super precious. That's the thing to be careful of, is sometimes when you do, it's almost intimidating. Right, I added the gesso. Now I'm going to add some sunshine. Let's see what happens when I add my yellow. Oh, this could be like the sun. So do that. I'm going to go up here a little more. Now I haven't let it really dry. I'm going to pull this in. Let's grab the orange. Can activate this with my gesso. Like I said, I need some water with this though. Let's try spraying this down. Let's see if I've got enough water in here to spray. Oh, good. Look how that just activated that. Okay, now I'm going to use my fingers And I'm going to move it out, help it to migrate out a little. Nice, beautiful, sunshiny day. These girls are out enjoying. Bring that yellow over there. Okay. Having fun. Bring my finger. Grab. I've got these. These are aqua inks. I feel like it needs a little pop, a little vibrancy. So let's just try this and experiment. See what happens here. Aqua ink. Let's shake it for a second. Don't know that it needs to be, but it's probably like a lot of other pigments. I mean, you know, paints, the pigments might separate. Don't know. Okay, now this is fluorescent bright. Let's see, where was I feeling it? See, you can go right over this paint area. Okay, I'm going to use it to hit now some of these leaves that's on the stamp itself. Camera seems to be up quite high, so let me bring it down just a little bit. There, give you a little better focus on what's going on and you can see it better. I hope. Okay, now this is kind of turning out fun. I'm really enjoying this. And that's what this is just to relax. You don't have to. I'm going to take some of this and dab that around. I don't know why, but I'm not fond of using this color green very often. It's like an emerald, which is kind of funny. It is my birthstone. But I love the apple greens, and this is good though for, you need that depth in the darkness of it. So just adding this here. Don't have anything I'm particularly following, just want more of this color. And I'm going straight with it, just like that. Kind of accentuating what's already printed on the card. Add a little more here. Okay, clean out my brush. This orange. Let's try using that for the flowers. It's an aqua ink. Let me clean that brush out a little bit better. just going to hit some of these petals. Bring that color in. And I'm just adding color here. I don't really necessarily have a flower or something there, but I want to, like they're standing in that. And a bright yellow would be great. Let's see if I have one close by. Don't see a bright yellow, but I have a purple. That might be a little... I have this right here. Let's open it up and just put a little in the center. Grab my brush. There. And they look, as I look in the screen, it looks very bright. So I'm going to, it doesn't look so bright as I look down, but in the screen it does. Take my paper towel and just lift off some of that so it isn't quite so bright. There we go. Now they've got their little hats. And let's use this green for their... If it doesn't look very good, then I'll go back and add the purple to it, but I might add a little purple though so that which I actually have some purple right here. I just need a dab, so I'm going to take the lid off, dab my brush in. Do not need much. There. Make that one, that color. And then my little blue, I can do, take my Neo 2, wet my brush, dry it a little bit. Let's pull some of the color off of that. And I am going to do her whole hat except for the band, and we'll leave the band white. There. Lift off some of that. Got a lot of color on there. All right. This is coming to a turning out really well. I'm going to dry it for a second. been really fun to create. You start out, you don't even know what you're going to do. Let's see, I'm grabbing now my watercolor black. I think I have two. This is a charcoal pencil. My watercolor black. And I want to create a little bit of a shadow around them to help them to stand out. So let's see if that works. I need a teeny tiny brush for that. Grab my little tiny angle, dip that in water. And I'm activating this watercolor pencil and pulling that ever so gently just out a little bit and giving her a little bit of a shadow around her. I do not know why my camera is not really going super clear. Being persnickety. Okay. Back here we have her little dress and this. And her little legs kind of got covered up with flowers. So I'm not going to worry too much about bringing them back out and trying to emphasize where her feet are. Because those flowers. But I am going to put some shadow down in here too. And if you find, and you think to yourself, got that a little too dark right there. Reach for one of your jelly rolls. See, it might need to be dry. I think I will dry it. Bring back in that white, get a little bit dark. Well, if the jelly roll doesn't work, then grab your gesso with a little tiny brush. Or even white paint. That will bring that highlight back. I'm going to blend that a little better. It had too much of a definite sharp edge. Oh, okay, I love that. I love that. There's a little glue right there. It's popping up. Put a little glue there, and then try something that keeps coming to my mind. And that is to use this other ink that I have that is my burnt umber. And sometimes I'll use this when when it starts to feel like it's all about the same intensity, or I just need a little pop of something so that you've got, oh, I don't want to forget to put my words too. Let's not forget those. Pull those out. Yes, I'll fix that in a second. But I need a little pop of brown here. So I'm going to use actually my brush because this is very intense. And I just had this thought to add it to the bottom. See how it's already kind of... Just 2 dots there. I'm going to get my gesso. I'm going to use water. Let's try water first. And if I do overkill here, then I'll grab my gesso. But I feel like I need something darker, a little more intense. Grab some of this because it's pretty dark here. And let's bring it into this area. And all I'm doing is dabbing. I'm just playing and dabbing. Some more water to that. There. That helped a lot. And I'm going to grab my Neo2s. Let's make this a more intense over here. Could even add a little blue to the sky up here. Just a teeny bit. Let's see what we did. Make sure my brush is clean from that brown, hopefully. Activate that yellow. Blend it out into the sky. That sunshine. Bring it down over the girls. Activate this blue over here. And if it's too dark, take your paper towel, lift it. I'm going to leave that. Look how that turned out. Almost like I have clouds right there. One of those happy accidents, or not necessarily an accident, but just you don't really know what it's going to do. But when you see something you like, when it does it and you see it, you just stop and be grateful for it. Go, thank you. That worked out great. Okay, I want this yellow out here more. Could use a larger round tip. It'll hold more water. Which will help to migrate it a little bit better. I love it. I'm going to dry it and add the words to it. Sometimes when your paper starts curling up, you can put a little water on the back, spray it on the back, and then dry that out. It'll flatten it back out. Just need to kind of mold it while it's warm. Oh, I love this. I love this. How fun. Get a few lids back on here. And the last thing I'm going to do is add on my words. To tell you the truth, I don't even know if I want to add those on. A kid, I'm looking for my little brush, my little brown brush. Here's one. And I'll use the Distressed Oxide. I don't know, it's just so sweet like that. And the focal point is those little gals and that beautiful sun and the clouds and the sky. Maybe if I had a little smaller. Anyway, I leave that up to you to add words if you want or not. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting these around the edges. Like so. Well, I think I'm liking it now like that. So, let's try to even up higher so I leave some of that. I didn't want to cover that up. That's why I'm sitting here messing with that. And I do like it up there. So, here we go. We'll add a little bit of glue to it. And tack her on. And we will call it good for the day. It's fun to get on here with you. And I hope it just inspires you to. Sometimes I know when I first started this morning, I didn't really, I was like, I don't know if I really feel like doing anything today. And we can have that. That can be a feeling that we have often, you know. Maybe you just got so much going on, or just thinking to yourself, I don't know if I really feel like doing that today. Look what I would have missed out on. There, wipe my fingers so I don't smear that. Tap that down. What if you fly? How fun. All right. All right, this project turned out really great. I had a lot of fun doing this with you. My only goal when I started was simply to use some of the ephemera that I have. I found this paper, so that was really the motivation. I found that and I thought, I want to do something with that. Then as I went through the ephemera, I found the little girls and the different pieces, and I traced the ephemera of the little girls so that I could stick them on here. And that's just an easy way. If you've got something already and you, I didn't want the solid, I just wanted a little bit of an outline, you can do that and add that tracing in there. So this was just a fun little easy project to do to hopefully inspire you. Let me get back over here to the other camera. All right, I'm back up here now. Let me close this out today by saying, if you are not part of my membership, it will be opening soon, a little bit later this month, early September. I haven't set the exact date yet, but do get on the waiting list and you will be the first to know when it opens up. I will be opening it up to the membership, to the email list, and then those that join a particular class that I have for it, and then it'll be opened up to the public. So if you're interested at all and you think, gee, I'd like to have a little more instruction, I'd love to be in with a group and have about 3 different major projects, or not major, but full, all blown out projects each month. And then I throw in little extras, and of course you get these and some other things that pop in that are special just for the group. So that you can find to sign up on that list on kathyfreemanart.com. And that's my website. Look for the tab up at the top in the menus that talks about the membership or says membership. And the membership is called Adventurous Creatives. Adventurous Creatives. That's the one to be looking for. And that will be, you can click on that. It gives you some explanations about what I do, what goes on. You can't register for it right now, but you, like I said, you can click and put your name in there and get on that waiting list. So I hope that you will join in and have a great, great day, ladies.